So, what did you miss at Jubilee today? Well, you missed a bunch of your friends getting together and celebrating the coming of summer, sharing some beautiful music, listening and engaging with stories from Scripture. The story of Elijah having defeated the prophets of Baal, but fleeing in fear for his life, trying to get away, and then trying to recognize God's voice in the fire and in the thunder and the storm, and then discovering it in the silence, and that voice beseeching him, sending him back into his ministry, back where he had been before, back into his fear. And we heard the story as well of the man possessed, one of the Gerasenes. Jesus comes to visit a town on the other side of the Sea of Galilee, and as soon as he steps out of the boat and onto land, this man who has been running half naked through the tombs and howling and approaches him and cries out to him, "What have you to do with me, Jesus, Son of the God Most High?" And Jesus asks the demons for their name, and he says, "We are legion, for there were many demons." And Jesus, his mere presence drives the demons out. And the demons, by choice, find themselves into a herd of pigs, and they run into the sea and drown. And it's a peculiar story. But we shared that story today. A story that's told in 3 Gospels. We shared that story today. But the truth is, everything we did was colored by how we are feeling and reacting and trying to make sense of the slaughter of 49 young gay, lesbian, transgender, bisexual, queer, and family of Latinos who just wanted to celebrate life, celebrate their youth, celebrate their sexuality, celebrate just who they are. And they were murdered. And we don't know what to say. We don't know what to feel. So we engaged in that. We grieved together. We wondered together. We hurt together. And I hope that we began to open our hearts and our minds together. We listen closely to that story of Jesus, and we recognize that the problems here are legion, that we are possessed by so many demons. It's not one single thing. As much as politics wants to make it one thing, newscasters want to make it one thing, we want to make it one thing so at least it won't be us. But it's not just one thing. It's many things, and it is us. What have you to do with us? Well, many things Jesus has to do with us. That little community, they thought they were fine. They had an economy that was working. They were selling pigs. That was working. And they had a crazy man that they could blame everything on. No matter what was going on, they could say, well, at least I'm not as crazy as that guy. And Jesus came along uninvited and wrecked it. After being confronted by Jesus, the one who loves the outsider, the one who heals the broken. That community, they didn't know they were broken. And Jesus showed them their brokenness and perhaps a path to healing. Because all of a sudden, they realized that they were living on the torture and sorrow of another, the man possessed. And that to find wholeness for that man, for that person, that outsider, they needed to spend a lot of pigs, as it turns out. But the fact is that justice, healthy communities do not come for free. They cost, and they cost all of us. And we sit back so often and say, well, it's not fair. It's not my problem. Why do I have to pay for it? And yet there's Jesus saying, this is what love looks like. This is what justice looks like. And together we are community, for everybody. The man was healed. The community, I'd like to think that they found their way to healing now that they had their brokenness, their dysfunction laid before them so clearly. I'm hoping that they found their way towards healing. And I'm hoping that this morning we began to find that as well, that we recognized our dysfunction. We recognized the times that we have not stood up, not been counted, the moments that have gone by when we might have engaged, that we might have loved, that we might have helped create a society where nobody is an outsider, where homophobia is not tolerated and not necessary. So today, we tried to listen to God. We tried to honor those who died, for those who are suffering, and we tried to listen to God and find our best way forward, a way that leads to wholeness, a way that leads to healing, a way that may cost us dearly, but the cost will be worth it. Anyway, that's what you missed at Jubilee, and I hope you don't miss us next week, because we'd love to see you as soon as possible. Until we do, God bless. Take care.